Hey, this is Derek Jordan. Welcome to the World Fusion Show, where we bring you the leading innovators in world fusion music. Today, my guest is Miguel Espinoza Flamenco Fusion, and a really wonderful, interesting group. I'm joined today by Miguel and by their cellist, Dianne. And welcome, you guys, to the World Fusion Show.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Well, it's fantastic. And I was introduced to you by one of our other wonderful guests, Howard Levy, who spoke highly of you, and he was certainly correct. Your music is wonderful. So I would love to get into a little bit of your background to start, and just how you got into music growing up, was there music in your family, that kind of stuff.
Okay, I'll go first. There was always music in my family. My father was a pianist and a conductor and a composer studying at the High School of Music and Art in New York City. And but he became a microbiologist, but there was always chamber music and music in the house. There was a cello and a piano and those kind of instruments in the house, so I could pick things up and try them out. And I was always wanting to make music. If I didn't have an instrument, I wanted to sing. I started a little group in my neighborhood of 5-year-old kids singing on our porch and putting on shows for the parents of the neighborhood. And so I always had music in me, and I always wanted to express it somehow. So.
You even told me, Dianne, that you wanted to play drums, but your parents wouldn't let you.
Yeah, parents wouldn't let me, band directors wouldn't let me, no one would let me. So
it sucks. I know, the drummer, the scourge of the drummer. Anyway, and Miguel, what about you?
She's a very percussive cellist to make up for that. I grew up with a single mother. She had me when she was 16, and she is a Chicana Native American muralist. And she's pretty well known here in the Southwest, and her murals dot the Southwest. And she was working at the Museum of Natural History as a background artist. So I grew up around art and music. A lot of her friends were musicians, and it was only natural because she was always busy painting and I was an only child. I really gravitated toward la guitarra, and I have pictures of me in diapers strumming a guitar. I did my first guitar recital on PBS TV in San Francisco when I was 9, and then went to Spain. I was accompanying Spanish dance classes, flamenco dance classes, from the age of like 12 until I went to Spain. So I was pretty well versed in accompanying dance. And then when I got to Spain, I ran out of money, and I started accompanying Spanish dance classes, and that led to, they would be like, hey, we have a gig in France. Do you want to, our material, do you want to? And one thing led to another. And Maria Benitez at the time was this wonderful Spanish dance company. And so she called me from New York, and she's like, my guitarist got mad at the singer, and I need a guitarist, fly to New York. And so that was the beginning of all through my 20s and into like my mid 30s. And then I signed with Silver Wave Records. I had a group called Curandero, and we did some stuff with Bela Fleck. He was a guest, and that's how I met Howard Levy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he's actually on our new coming CD coming up, and it's called Living in a Daydream, and he's on several pieces, and we're just absolutely delighted.
Well, he's terrific, of course, as you know. A true innovator in the harmonica world, that's for sure. So we're going to go to our first video. Can you tell us a little bit about this song?
Cayendo means falling, and it's like the falling leaves, and it's a very introspective bulerías rhythm, and it incorporates. It's just very poetic. Do you have anything to add?
I think it's beautiful, and it has a range of intensities and feelings and style in it. Anywhere from just his beautiful introduction of the piece, and then the different solos and the rhythmic elements become more intense in it. It's just a journey, really.
Right. That's fantastic. Let's check out this video right now. are back with Miguel Espinoza Flamenco Fusion and that wonderful video. So guys, I wanted to ask you a little bit about your inspiration in music and who has been the most influential in your development and evolution.
For me, I grew up with a lot of classical music, but I also listened to other music as well. But I'm particularly fond of Bartók and Shostakovich and, of course, Bach, Mozart, Beethoven, but also Chick Corea, Miles Davis, Pat Metheny. I listened to a lot of different kind of music in college and in high school. My friends and I were always trading unusual music back and forth with each other. So I really got a wide variety of music a little bit early, though my main focus was classical.
That's great. That's great. And you, Miguel?
Well, that's a no-brainer. It was Wayne Newton's greatest hits.
Of course. Everybody.
No, so I grew up listening to a lot of classical and a lot of flamenco, traditional flamenco, and John McLaughlin when Shakti came out, and ironically, I got to know him and because of Paco de Lucia was touring with him, and I knew Paco, and my last group, the tabla player was involved with Zakir, and so we would all have dinner together after concerts, and I got to meet Chicorea, and I hear him, this little 15-year-old punk, and when they would come to town, or I would go to Santa Fe to see Paco, and then there would be John McLaughlin. So I was very, very lucky, and music from India just moves. A good raga has always just brought me to tears, and the flamenco cante hondo, the wailing. That's a lot
That's
of.
Great. Thank you. Now we're going to go to our next video, and this one is another Buleria, and but it has some classical influence as well. Tell us about this.
Well, this is in the style. I wanted to make a falseta, which is a flamenco like riff, and in the style of moron, which is in different regions. There's like Jerez style, bulerias. This one is more of a moron, and I, was putting together these ideas for classical, and then she's like real well versed her whole life, and so we were like, let's do this like a Bach. If Bach were born in Andalusia.
Yeah. That's great. That's fantastic. So let's go check out this video right now. Hey, it's Derek, and we are back with Miguel Espinoza Flamenco Fusion. I wanted to ask you guys about touring, and you've traveled around quite a bit, and tell us about what you're up to with that.
Well, we are starting to travel even more. We're going to be playing a lot of concerts on a tour in July. We call it the Veneta Tour. And we're going to be playing in Minneapolis and Chicago. We're going to be playing on Nantucket and Portland, Maine, Blue Hill, Maine, Bar Harbor, Maine. We'll be playing in New York City and Philadelphia, and we're still developing other venues right now. So it'll be a pretty full July for us. And then we are planning other tours after that as well, to the Midwest and to New Mexico, and it's just becoming quite a bit of traveling we'll be looking forward to.
That sounds great. So we're going to go to our next video, which is called Veneta. So tell us about this.
Well, the Veneta is basically it's a homage to the group Oregon, Ralph Towner and Paul McCandless, and they had a big influence on my musical direction. And so this Veneta is a bulerías that has more of the Berber, North African influence in the bulerías. And it's just a wonderful poetic piece. And Lynn Baker, who was a professor at in DU in Denver, joined us, and he was a member, and he actually moved to Oregon now, and he's in Oregon. So, anything you would like to add?
No, it's just one of my favorite pieces.
All right, let's go and check out this very cool video right now. Miguel Espinoza Flamenco Fusion. Now, guys, I was going to ask you about some of your CDs. You have a couple CDs and a couple more coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, we have Turtle Dreams was the first one. The second one was Veneta. And the third one is Living in a Daydream, and we're about to finish it. And it will be released next month in April. And it has beautiful arrangements of, well, it's all our own original compositions, but we've arranged it in such a way that there's a real variety and of different styles, different moods, different... It's just whatever we love to play and whatever comes to mind. Basically, Miguel gets a great idea and then we all hop on board and figure out how to make it work together. So There's a lot of different kinds of music on it.
That's great. So I wanted to ask you also about your philosophy of music and what you feel like you're trying to do, the purpose of your music.
That's an excellent question. I think first and foremost is as being musicians, our first and main goal is to remind people of their humanity and to make an emotional impact with our music. It's not all about chops, even though there is chops and interesting, the path in the music. It's got to touch the heart.
Yeah. What about you, Dianne?
For me, I just find that I just feel like I'm playing out of my heart and that I want to touch other people's hearts one way or another. And that's what I feel like we do. We make music from our hearts, and it just seems inevitably that that's how we touch people's hearts. And I hope that brings peace in the world and reminds people of their humanity, as Miguel said.
We need that.
We're doing this naturally from our hearts and our souls, and we just hope that connects with people in a way that supersedes all the arguments and the debates and the conflicts and everything.
We even did a new song on this Living in a Daydream, and it's called Division.
Yeah.
And it's specifically about
the conflict in the world.
Division.
So many conflicts in the world.
We are actually running out of time, so I want to get to our final video. So let's go straight to the video right now.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Miguel Espinoza Flamenco Fusion. Miquel and Dianne, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us today on the World Fusion Show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's been great to have you, and hopefully we can meet up sometime on your tour all over the country. You're coming?
That'd be delightful.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Okay, take care now, guys.
You too.
Hey, this is Derek Jordan. Thanks for joining us today on the World Fusion Show. Please tell your friends about the show and subscribe to us on our YouTube channel, on our Facebook channel, and tell your friends. We need to keep spreading this music all over the planet. I want to say thank you to our sponsors, Mackenzie Family Charitable Trust, Chris Pratt, Nancy Feinberg, Ron Dans, for your generous support. And also, as we always say on the show, remember, think globally, listen locally, and support independent music.